How are you all doing today? Welcome back to another fun-filled show. I am your host. He is Blanchard, aka Free Blanche, aka Blanche Stradamus. I'm pretty sure by now you all have heard about Tory Lanez being stabbed 14 times, allegedly in prison. And this came after new evidence was presented in he was already convicted. So I guess new evidence is being presented for his appeal, where the bodyguard identified Kelsey, that is Meg the Stallion's friend, um, as the shooter. Now, I told you all a couple of years ago that this was a lie, that Tory did not shoot Meg the Stallion. And I knew this based on what Meg the Stallion said herself. First of all, there was a video where the police was telling her to walk backwards, and she was able to walk. Meg the Stallion got on Instagram and stated that she was shot in both of her feet, and the bullets missed all of the bones and all of the tendons. Now, you have the most bones in your hand at 27, but your feet are a close second at 26. So the likelihood of Meg the Stallion being shot in both of her feet and being able to walk upon the police request is highly unlikely. And so I knew then that she was lying. Apparently, she stepped on glass. There was no bullets removed from her feet like they stated. It's not true. You never saw Meg the Stallion wearing any kind of special shoes or a boot or anything after this incident. Matter of fact, soon after this incident, we saw Meg the Stallion twerking, which is what she does very well. So nobody even thought about the healing process that it takes when you're shot in both of your feet. And this is what she said. Then she also lied about being involved with Tory Lanez romantically. We know she was lying about that as well. So my point is that Meg Thee Stallion has been lying this entire time, but you all wanted to believe this was true. I've lost many female friends behind this Meg Thee Stallion coverage, and I told them, like I'm telling you all now, that he didn't do it. It's all a Hollywood trick. It's all a Hollywood ploy. You have to sacrifice somebody. The devil always requires a sacrifice. Usually it's a blood sacrifice. In this case, Tory Lanez was that sacrifice. Anyway, so Tory Lanez didn't do it. And now they're creating this narrative of the reason why he was stabbed in prison. So let's check that out real quick.
State Prison, and I'll tell you guys why. Now, the video I did before was just saying that there was a false narrative going on about a Mexican trying to extort him and make him pay taxes, and everybody ran with that theory. I said, no, it was personal. Now, if a Mexican was to do it, it was, yada, yada, yada. But the reason this took place is this dude was a nice guy, respectful inmate, got into a lot of trouble, though. He stabbed a couple inmates in prison. He's doing life without the possibility of parole for 2 murders. And he was in education. He was working in the educational department, respectful, but he happened to be Tory Lanez's neighbor. And at visit, he was flirtatious with his wife. And his wife immediately told her husband. They went back, got confrontational, and Tory Lanez was on the tier saying that he was going to F his wife because she likes black dudes. That's what really.
So this story makes absolutely no sense. And I know it's not true just based on prison politics. First of all, the guy was in prison for murder. He wasn't getting out, but he was married. So that means he would be eligible in California state prisons to have conjugal visits. There's no way that Tory Lanez would have access to his wife. Again, he is married. He is serving life in prison. He has conjugal visits. Tory Lanez would not have access to his wife. It doesn't even make any sense. Second of all, this guy is more than likely a Sereno. So in California, the prison gangs are separated with the Mexicans or Hispanics from Norteños in the Northern California, Serenos in Southern California, and it's a couple of other California prison gangs that are Hispanic. But so this guy's more likely Sereno, and this guy was an educator in the prison. So that means he was on his best behavior because he was an educator. So he wasn't a problem. So he was not being denied conjugal visits at all. So again, this doesn't make any sense. Tory Lanez would never flirt with this man's wife. First of all, because it's an automatic death sentence. In prison, you get your head split for a honey bun. You get whacked for a couple of cartons of cigarettes. Like, he wouldn't do this. This doesn't make any sense. This would cause a war in prison. Tory Lanez is a non-affiliate. That means he's in there. He's not protected by the Crips, protected by the Bloods or the Muslims or any group. So Black Guerrilla family, you know, he's not protected by anybody in prison. So again, he wouldn't be this reckless. He has to be on his P's and Q's. He has to respect everybody. He has to stay in his place, basically. So there's no way Tory Lanez, it's a death sentence. And then for him to be on a tier yelling out for all the inmates to hear him saying he's going to sleep with this guy's wife, it's just a lie. It would never happen because the black side would have checked him, because what he did would have started a war. So the blacks would have checked Tory Lanez. They would have dealt with him. The Mexican guy would have never got to Tory Lanez. What he did is a absolute no in prison, and it literally would have started a war. So we know that this story is false, is capped, and it's a lie. It just doesn't make any sense. It's absolutely ridiculous. And so there's no way Tory Lanez would do this, especially not being affiliated with anybody. But let's listen to Wack 100.
Even prior to, Tory didn't shoot that girl. I told y'all, Tory did not shoot that girl. All y'all that was pro this, pro that, now y'all got to pay attention to the bigger play. Y'all heard the lady. See, I didn't know nothing about the security guard coming forward, telling the truth. I knew that the DNA came back 100% not him. And they kept it from him doing trial, and they used the other one. That said it could be, maybe it can't be. It was 3 tests. 2 of them came back 100% not him after the fact. I told y'all Tory didn't shoot that girl. Then the day after, they go submit the new evidence of the security guard saying he witnessed who pulled the trigger. Tory get hit 14 times. I told y'all Monday, I said somebody sent that at him.
It is kind of convenient that right when this so-called new evidence gets presented, in which we know there's not new evidence, because I stated before that they wouldn't let that bodyguard testify. And I'll even want to say that Kelsey, Meg Thee Stallion's friend, pled the fifth. But isn't it kind of convenient that when this new evidence gets presented, the day after he gets stabbed 14 times? And so now you got these content creators trying to spin this story about him disrespecting this guy's wife as a cover-up, but it doesn't make any sense based on prison politics. And so it is kind of it makes you scratch your head like, wait a minute, after the new evidence gets presented, he gets stabbed 14 times? Come on, man. That was a hit. And so, again, there's no way Tory Lanez did what they said he did. And I agree 1,000% with Wack 100 right here.
I talk to him too much. His spirit, his soul, his attitude. I'm listening to people come to his door when he's on his little iPad talking to me. Everybody helping, every 10 out of 10 people. Hey, Tory, you think I'm going to make that call? Hey, Tory, thanks, bro. That happened for me. I'm hearing it. You're not going to get me to believe he just done jumped up. He knows appeal date is coming up. And now he tripping. He ain't side with no Crips, with no Bloods. He went in there being Tory Lanez, tending to his business, found a way to help the people on the yard that could never get no help. Nah, man, y'all got to pay this some attention. that lady, she got a point. A day after we submit, after they submit, that we got the security guard saying he witnessed who fired the gun. We got this dude right here ain't nothing about this dude talking about this other bozo talking about Tory disrespected dude's wife on a visit. Man, get the fuck out of here. That ain't even Tory character. That dude, that social media dude, everybody need to unfollow and block dude. You in violation. You a Norteño telling us what a Sureño did with a brother, with a non-affiliate brother. Come on, bro. Who paid you to do that? Who paid you to do that? Free Tory. Broad be home. That which couldn't kill him only made him stronger. Stay tuned.
That which didn't kill him only made him stronger. Oh, that's funny. Y'all love them little sayings, the little colloquialisms, boy. Y'all love them. Anyway, so we all know that Meg Thee Stallion didn't get shot. Apparently, she stepped on glass. And again, we saw the police telling her to walk backwards, and she walked back. So we know she did not get shot. This is all a cover up, but I believe beyond it being a cover up, it was just a way to sacrifice Tory Lanez. If all this is true, this will still be a Hollywood stunt, could still be a Hollywood play. But let's assume that all this is true. It's just a way to sacrifice Tory Lanez, and we know that the industry will always require a sacrifice. Now, the crazy part about this is that nobody's going to even care that Meg Thee Stallion lied on Tory. Like, her lying on Tory isn't going to ruin her career. In fact, it's going to boost her career up because they're going to make her a victim because of her lying. Let's listen to Jason Lee.
Receipts out, but let me go ahead and just pull it
Man,
out.
free him.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what Tory said to me. Hold on. Tory Lanez. Let me go back to the pre-stabbing dates. Hold on.
Oh, God.
Tory Lanez. Okay. In a text message between Tory and I said, yo. He said, what's good? I said, how you surviving that bullshit? Wish we could have sat down before you left. Because you know me and him hung out with Madonna when they were messing around. Don't believe me? Take a look at this photo. I said, do you have a number? He said, what's yours? Let me move on to the text messages now. Then we started to text message each other. I said, how are you? How you been? He said, incredible, in very high spirits and preparing to physically come home this year. I said, when? I need to come in there and get an interview, LOL. He said, I can't say exact days, but I know I'll be home this year. I said, how long you been gone? I'm so confused by your case. He said, actually, I have a crazy plan when I get back that I think you should know and be a part of because I'm only going to do one interview. And he said he's been gone 2.5 years. I said, I want to be a part of that plan. He said, it's honestly a bunch of suppressed evidence that was kept away from me during trial. I said, Wack told me that, but didn't say what. He said, like, through trial, they keep saying it was inconclusive on the gun DNA, but I always knew I never touched the gun. So I asked my lawyer to retest it. And sure enough, I was 102% excluded completely from everything, just like I said. I said, well, why didn't you just say who did it? Doing time for something you ain't do. He said, I took the rap for Kelsey, never wanted her to go to jail, and I never wanted Megan to get hurt or anything. So in me stopping her from getting shot, I got the raw deal. Crazy how life works. And to think they made me the poster boy for the unprotection of black women, when in all honesty, I protected 2 black women, one from getting shot and one from going to jail. Never said nothing in 8 to 10 years for them to live. It's a crazy, crazy place we live in. I said, but why you ain't just say that? When I got shot, I told. And he said, I lost my mother at 11 years old. I couldn't sleep with myself. I was the reason for taking a mother away from her kid. I just couldn't do it. Tory Lanez.
He's better than me.
And again, I truly believe if Tory Lanez is innocent, he should be freed and he should be compensated for time that he was wrongly convicted. But I also believe the person who pulled the trigger, that person should go to jail. And if Meg conspired to set him up and lie on him, of course she should do time. But I'm just saying, in an instance like this, and
I don't like this long-winded explanation.
No, 'cause
But the
saying,
word
no.
conspired is so problematic because even if she didn't know, then she doesn't know. She
But
can't say.
that's what I'm saying. So in an instance like this, we should all agree, if I'm in a situation that I did not know what happened, I shouldn't go to jail for that. Because I wouldn't want that for you. But I'm saying, if the person did lie intentionally and set the other person up, she should go to jail.
Megan, you might be going to jail, girl.
So Meg Thee Stallion said that she saw Tory Lanez shooting at her. So this is not a situation where we talk about conspired. It was a conspiracy because she said that she's witnessed it. So again, this is why this whole protect black women thing is demonic and satanic. Because when you hear that term protect black women, this is what it means. It means you're going to be the sacrificial lamb for this black woman to have a certain position. So she doesn't have to be accountable. So she can do something evil and wicked. Protect black women is a horrible, horrible mantra. Matter of fact, I have an image that I often show of protect black women. And let me see if I can find it. Surprised I didn't have it ready for the show. But anyway, nothing's going to happen to Meg Thee Stallion. Nothing. Like I told you all, she's going to say that she was a victim. They're going to make up some kind of story. She didn't want her friend to get in trouble. She was mad at Tory. Her heart was broken. It's in somehow, some way, they're going to make her a victim. And that's why I say, this whole protect black women thing is just demonic and satanic. But Meg Thee Stallion won't be held accountable. Who's going to hold her accountable? Who? Black women? Of course not. Women in general? Of course not. Feminists? Of course not. Liberals? Of course. Like, who's going to hold her accountable? Nobody. She's going to say she was a victim. Again, in Hollywood, it's the same ritual played out over and over again. They either got to make you a victim and bring you up, or make you a villain and bring you up. So they got to bring you down to pull you up to the next level. I don't know what that's called in the occult world, but I see it all the time, where they bring somebody down, then they pull them back up to the next level. So anytime you see somebody elevating their career, it's usually they go down and then they're, pulled back up. But we should all know that Tory Lanez didn't do this at all. Again, they talk about the test was inconclusive. These people lie all the time. And really, they've been setting you all up this whole time to be the court of public opinion. They're trying to get you all to not care about the judicial process. They're trying to get you all to be okay with having an emotional take on something and that giving someone an actual judgment in court. In this picture right here, this is from her video. I don't know the name of her video or whatever, or the name of the song, but I think it might be called Cobra. I don't know. But you even see her in here talking back to the serpent, which is Satan. So again, this is the Eve spirit manifest all over again. Quiet as kept. Most of these women actually sympathize with Eve, and they don't think that what she did was wrong. Because the serpent, tempted her with being like God, most women don't actually see Eve as being wrong. If you even talk to most women, they don't even want to discuss. Just ask the average woman what her take is on Adam and Eve, and I guarantee she's going to have an adverse reaction to even the question, because deep down inside, they don't believe that Eve was wrong. Deep down inside, most women do not believe that Eve was wrong, because accountability is like kryptonite to women, especially Black women. But you see, even Satan has a tough time dealing with these Black women. Even the serpent is getting scolded by a Black woman. You can't tell them nothing. But anyway, hopefully Tory Lanez is free. Hopefully he gets out. I don't know why he would take the rap for Meg Thee Stallion. He has to be absolutely insane, because you saw where it gets you, or you saw where it got him. What he did was absolutely insane. Protecting Meg and Kelsey for what? Just to go to prison and get stabbed 14 times? It's absolutely insane and ridiculous. Somebody told me that most gangsters are simps, and I believe that. You know, and that's just with all this being true. This could all be another Hollywood trick or ploy or smokescreen covering up for something else. I don't know. But if this is true, this should be a lesson for all men out there. Don't do what Tory Lanez did. Don't deal with low character, Jezebel spirited, Eve spirited women. Don't do it. Do not, because they will always compromise you and put you in harm's way. Never deal with a woman with low character. They will always compromise you and put you in harm's way. All right, y'all. Go.